And welcome to the Medium Ghetto Podcast with your host, Jamar.
And also Love Journal with your host, and also Love Guru himself, Troy Ryan.
This is our Medium Ghetto Love Journal collaboration. We're gonna call it the Medium Ghetto
Yes,
Love
yes.
Journal. You know what I mean? So
Right?
Medium
Love
Ghetto,
it.
if you haven't heard, is a podcast, an unprofessional podcast for professionals. We get to say how we feel here, outside of the corporate life. We get to be our medium ghetto self. Everything from trauma to office drama. We be hitting it all.
Yes. And if you haven't heard, Love Journal is my personal journey into understanding, relearning, and healing love. And just moving forward in a better way. Sounds a little serious, but I'm goofy as hell. So it's pretty fun too.
Absolutely. So today's episode is going to be about bad relationship karma, right? Am I correct?
Yes, yes, yes. I don't want to say bad exactly, but I mean, because karma could be good too, but ultimately, relationship karma.
I think. So you ever read the book from what is it? From Jay Shetty about love? Like,
I know who he is, but I haven't read his book yet.
so I forgot the name of the book. It's like on my shelf, but it tells about like karmic love cycles. So pretty much a lot of
Yeah,
times people think karma is like a transactional thing. You give and you get, but it's actually a cycle. You keep reliving the things you're going through until you learn them. So that's what really the karmic cycle is. He goes over that.
yeah, yeah.
So like if
Um,
you keep the for instance, right? If you keep letting a girl or a boy like take advantage of you over and over and over again, it's gonna keep happening until you stand your ground and you let them know it's not okay. Until you learn that lesson and you stand
yeah,
up for yourself, it's gonna keep happening.
it'll repeat. Yeah, yeah, of course. Um, and so like what I like to do with Love Journal is like when I start the episode, um, I like to start with a quote, and the quote that I want to start with today is like anonymous, and it
Mm-hmm.
just reads that, and karma said, "You will love someone who doesn't love you for not loving someone who did."
Say that again.
Okay, so the quote, I'll put up the quotes now. Quote, and karma said, "You will love someone who doesn't love you for not loving someone who did." End quote.
Yo, can you explain that? Like that don't blow my mind. My
Yeah.
friend, my just like yo, like that.
So basically, karma is speaking, right? And telling this person that like you didn't love someone who loved you. You didn't like treat them right. You kind of took advantage of them. And so now this is gonna happen to you with someone that you love. You're gonna feel the same way that someone felt about you, and how you treated that person in that situation is gonna get done back to you.
Oh, I get it. So this is how we
Yeah.
all are hoping what happened to our exes. That true is bad.
I mean, it's like you don't want to hope that, and not see that's
So I'm
okay.
hoping
That's
that.
that's that's why I want us to do this episode, because I think as we get older, um, the reality is we have to look at ourselves, and as much as we want to say we were hurt and things happened, people did things to us, which isn't necessarily not true. We weren't always perfect. You know what I'm saying? I
That
had to
is
look at
true.
like my last relationship, and I missed a lot of fucking marks. I was like, whoa, wow, wow, buddy, wow, like, wow. So and a recent situationship that I kind of ended or whatever. It was like I had moments with that where I was just like not not the best. So it's just like as you get older, I think it's hard for people to look at themselves like that. And so it's just
Yeah.
easy to be like, oh yeah, I got hurt. Well, I can't wait to watch what happened when you leave me. Because sometimes our ex leave us, and their life is okay, and it's like
Sometimes their life is better. Like
that,
you ever see somebody
right?
leave somebody, you're like, your life is better. Your
Yeah,
spirit
I
looks
mean, actually, one
lighter.
of my exes, one of my exes, it wasn't, we didn't, and it wasn't like something that ended on bad terms. It was just something that just ended. And after me, like, homie found the one because they've been together for like 9, 10 years. I'm like, oh well, shit, more power to you, buddy. Like,
I
I'm
got a
not.
question though for you too, Troy. Like, Have
Yeah.
you ever felt like you were the one that wasn't ready
Oh, hell
for
yeah.
the relationship?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Not and unfortunately, and that's part of why I'm doing Love Jungle too. Not before or during. It's always something I realize after the fact, and it's like, damn, I wasn't ready for that. But yeah, I've definitely been there before.
So, what is one thing you think you could have did better in one of your last relationships?
Um, I could have tried to communicate more. Um, I have this thing where when I get close to people, I guess sometimes I just feel like they should just know, especially if we have like a kind of connection or a chemistry to where often we don't really have to talk about some things and we just already there anyway. So it's like when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to my feelings, sometimes it's hard. In the past, it has been hard to discuss them. So I'm like, well, you should fucking know how I feel. Like you,
You should be. We're together long enough.
hey, like so. That's one thing. Like just really communicating more,
Mm-hmm.
and not expecting motherfuckers to be mind readers. Even if we do have that kind of connection, that doesn't mean they think every single thought that I think.
You think it's a little selfish?
Oh, definitely. That's I think and I think a lot of times the problems that we have, quote unquote, come from like a more selfish ego side versus like the weak or like sad or whatever side that people think. So like with that, I can mask that as like, oh, it's always just been really hard for me, and you know, I've been teased, or people didn't accept my words or didn't listen to me. But the reality is, it's just kind of fucking selfish because now I'm just going around expecting motherfuckers to know how I feel, and not really saying anything.
So you think the
I mean,
world revolves
actions
around
speak
you?
louder than words, but like sometimes I'm learning the older I get how important communication is, and sometimes just actions aren't enough. You know,
Your actions aren't
hey,
because
hey,
like
what's up?
sometimes we need to draw it out for people. You know what I mean? Like I
Actions
need it
change
drawn
based on
out for
emotion.
me. I need it
Yeah,
for me. Like let me know. Be blunt with me. I am good blunt. I'm not good taking hints. I'm not like good at
yeah.
all taking hints. Just let me know what's wrong. We'll figure it out right there and now. But I think one thing for me that I could improve with
Mm-hmm.
relationships is being more intentional with showing affection the way they want it.
Mm.
I
Like
feel it's like
matching their love
sometimes,
language.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And like now that I'm out the relationship, like you said, sometimes afterwards you see what you could have done better and you see how you
mm-hmm.
can make it work better. But to be honest, for me, I think it's like I'm affectionate,
Yeah,
but I think I'm selfish and my ego speaks for itself sometimes. I'm like, well, I got all these things to do. I gotta do
yeah,
my festival, I gotta do my podcasts, I gotta go to my two
yeah.
jobs, I gotta read my
That's,
books.
that's me.
I'll do
That's
that.
me.
I'll do that after. And at the end of the day, like how they're gonna be your significant other if they're the last thing that you work on. You're literally giving a person your
Yeah,
leftovers. And that's my
yeah.
main flaw. I give people my
And
leftovers.
that's funny because like that's why, just to kind of go back on like the not ready thing. That's where I'm at now. So I know I'm not ready for that right now because I'm so into myself and what I'm doing and like what I want to do. And I'm just like, you don't want this. Unfortunately, like
You don't want
I'm
this.
pre-ready. Like I'm pre-ready now. Like after everything, I was just like, because like on my last relationship, and it's like also there was a lack of patience. You know what I'm saying? But like I was with someone who had been in like a relationship for like 10 years, who's like somebody who's like a relationship kind of person who did long-term relationships, and like the longest one they had been there was 10 years. I don't have much relationship experience, so it was just like, and also at this time I have been like single like almost 8 years. Like I've talked to people and gotten serious, but it, life happens. And so it was like almost this expectation of me to be that experienced person that he is used to versus taking the time to be like, oh, wait, this nigga don't know what he's doing. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Because like it was still, like I said, I missed a lot of marks, and it was things that he told me once the moment that we broke up, that I was like, oh, oh, shit, yeah, wow, okay, that makes sense. I get it. All right, oops.
Do you think like
So,
his long term mindset? I All right. Let's go to like his long term mindset versus your like more so short term mindset. Because I be seeing this a lot. You ever like see people like for me? I'm more of a long term person. For me, I take it a little too slow. I'm slow to warm up. I'm slow for the romance. But in some people, man, if you let them keep going, you really you dated for a week. You talk
yeah,
for like 30 seconds. Your relationship within probably 2 days. I don't know how you got dating before
oh
the
yeah,
relationship, but they figured it out. And like they rush you into this relationship. Like, are you more so
love
like
bomb.
a now person? Because I know for me, I've been in a relationship for 8 years straight, and
Mm,
because of that, I'm not ready for a relationship. Like I'm
yeah,
cool with taking it slow with people, but if someone
yeah.
who's been like antsy for a relationship got with me, they'll probably think I'm not super interested. If that makes
And so,
sense.
I mean, that's the problem already, though. That, like you just said it yourself, antsy for, like, I don't think. I think that's the biggest problem sometimes, is that people are so eager to be with someone, or like to feel a kind of void or something. And it's just like, you need to deal with your fucking self first. Like, if you aren't at a place where you are totally fucking okay alone,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to hang up the dating apps. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and I think sometimes just like, I don't know. It's just interesting to
I
kind of
got a
see
question for you
people.
though. Hold up,
Yeah, go
hold up,
ahead.
hold up. I got a question for you, right? So we got so from my love journal right here, Jamar's love journal, they be make me do these writing prompts from like the Jay Shetty book. So it made me think a
Yeah,
lot, right? So you talk about isolation versus loneliness, right? And I think a lot of this confuse it. But
yeah,
isolation is intentional. Loneliness is not. So I've been in like a state of isolation to level up, right?
mm-hmm.
And it has me doing this. It has me spending 2 hours a week just by myself doing things I want that involve self growth and whatever evolves me. And I feel so much more stronger and ready for a relationship now that I know how to be a whole person while I'm isolated.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Like, um,
Have you ever felt like the isolation was good for you?
oh, I love it. Cause here's the thing, like, I can be the life of the party, or I can be the wallflower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm introverted and extroverted. I enjoy my time alone, but I do like to go out sometimes. And I'm also, just to mix that in with that, like, I pay attention to life, and life is a cycle. So my life has had extremely low, like, alone, isolated moments, and then it's had moments where I was just on the go, just doing this and that, like, just everywhere. Like, and so once I pay attention to that cycle, I just flow into my life. Like, okay, this is an isolation period. Let me isolate. Oh, I'm coming out of that period now. I'm back into it. So like, I'm like, right now I'm coming out of an isolation period. Like, I like to call it hermit mode, because that's what it is. I'm like, to myself. I ain't going nowhere. Fuck all this hanging out shit. Like, I got shit to do. And just focus on myself. But I think, like I said, with like my last situation, or just where I'm at right now, it's good to know that that's where I'm at now, because now I'm not gonna bring nobody into my shit.
I see what you're
Like,
saying. So now
now
you're
I
not
know, yeah. Like, it's like, I mean, I'll talk to people and stuff like that, but it's just like, I'll let you know that this isn't gonna go anywhere right now. Like, and I'm not gonna push away love if it happens too. Like, life happens, but like, my intention is so far fucking left from that.
I see what you're saying. I
Yeah,
think a lot of us like to add on to what you were saying,
yeah,
like a lot of us we react to loneliness, you know what I mean? So our
yeah.
whole life we're acting to loneliness and we never learned how to stay on ourselves. You ever see that person who's been trying to find themselves for 12 years straight? and they always like, "This is the year I found myself." I'm like, yo, like, when are you ever gonna find yourself? That is literally the person who
Yeah,
has never isolated themselves to the work just on them. Eventually, someone
yeah,
comes by that interests them, that distracts them from building on them.
I agree. I mean, so I will say you. I think you are always finding yourself in a way, but I think you do have a core being, and there are some people who don't have that, who haven't even, because it's like we change, consistently or whatever, but like there's like I said, a core. There's a no matter how much I change or I'm different, quote unquote, people who have known me for the longest recognize the consistent thread of my
Yeah,
character. So it's like I just think, and just to go back to that, actually, that ties back into what I was just saying too. Intention. I think once you have that, you're able to have the intention to move forward and without hurting people. And that's where the karma part comes in, because motherfuckers don't know themselves. They don't have intentions. They're just moving and just and before they know it, they didn't got. And so I've had that before. I've had the before I know it, I'm in a relationship. You know, um, that was actually my ex. Like talking before I knew it, it was like, oh, okay, we're in a relationship. Before I knew it, we were living together for a second. It was like I didn't like stop and process any step of this. It was just like,
he just ended up in your crib. Pretty much, you slid in the
yeah,
crib.
yeah,
Y'all sharing the drawers. You're like,
yeah,
why are you moving my
legit.
clothes?
I'm just like, wait,
How
when did
how
this
do you got
fucking
so many
happen?
shoes?
But it was just like also again something that I was not intentionally ready for. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of lack happened. But I have a question for you. Um, so, and again, we don't mean to want our exes to go through karma, you know, or old situations and stuff like that. But it's natural, I think. And if they genuinely did cause some problems, more than likely they will get that karma. Have you ever seen an ex or heard of an ex experiencing said karma in a bad way?
Man, I'm trying to think. I definitely right.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that, let's say, someone couldn't be patient
Mm-hmm.
would, it's no more to someone. People can't be patient with how your relationship processes, to lose
Mm-hmm.
out on the blessings that you were had that it was coming for both of you. So pretty
Right.
much what I'm saying, envision this: you were ordering the thing they've been asking for years that will make them happier, right? And it's coming, but they don't know when, and they leave before the surprise ever gets there. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
So like, and then the next relationship, they pretty much thought they were getting bare minimums from me, which they were not.
They're
I
really
was
getting
giving,
there,
treating
man.
them right. We were going out places, we
Yeah.
were flying places. The next one, the dude just wanted to smoke weed and just chill all day.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's crazy. Ooh, my favorite one is this, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know, like, how do you feel when your exes date someone who might be a little uglier than you? Like, it'd
I
be like,
I
yo,
ain't
you
gonna
got the
hold you
same
up.
feet, like a low budget version of me. It's like
Oh
God was like, yo, bro,
nah,
I
they
got
never
some
let
extra
like look.
car parts, but we can't add the other feature because we ran out of that.
Yeah. Yo, that shit,
That
that
shit
shit gets to
hilarious.
me. Now, it's hilarious, but that shit pisses me off. I'm just like, and listen, I'm not gonna hold you up. Like, I literally will be like, Nick, really? Nick, okay, okay.
But
This
hold up,
still
hold
like
up, hold
really
up.
like
But I got something else, right?
okay.
I don't know. Let's go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this. So like, it's not that I wish the worst for my exes
Mhm.
or whoever I call my
Yeah,
exes, but I'm not wishing the best on them. I'm
yeah.
not like, oh yeah, we broke up and like, life's gonna be great. I
Ooh,
have
yeah,
you
hope
have
it works out.
your other family.
Mhm.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm not gonna hope for nothing
Yeah.
for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't got no bad
I'm just not
wishes
gonna
for him.
care. I'm just not gonna care. Yeah.
I don't care. But at the end of the day, if they was homeless
Yeah, I
on the
hope you're
street,
good. Like, hope you're well,
if just
kind of thing.
homeless, I'll probably send them a resource or something like that. I'll probably help them out. But now they're not
The
my
fuck?
responsibility, so I'm not gonna treat it like my
Yeah.
responsibility.
I don't know. It depends. Cause like some of my like I guess quote unquote exes or situations were like friends too, kind of close friends
Mm-hmm.
at some point
So you be friendly
or
your
whatever.
exes?
No. They were friends before fucking around, kind of thing.
Uh,
Um, it anyway,
you
you
slow.
know, it's it's a problem. I
So
have
I
to
got a
fix
question,
that.
right? So they're your
Okay.
friend
Yeah.
at first. Like, how does that like line be like crossed? Like, how do you?
Um, I honestly I don't know because I think I've paid attention because I've been in two situations like that specifically, right? Like, and both of them, even on the initial contact, was a bit more flirtier. Like, was a bit more like in talking realm, but then like just kind of immediately just friends, and it was like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do this. But that energy never goes anywhere, so it just sits there and just like builds and builds and builds until a moment of like, all right, let's just fucking like, you know what I'm saying, get it over with. And depending on how that one get it over with goes, there's several get it over with. And
Damn.
yeah, before you know it, somebody falls and somebody doesn't, and yeah, it's a bunch of shit. And so just to tie into the whole karma thing, that's why like sometimes it's like I said, like you don't always want to wish stuff like that, but it does happen. Your brain, emotion happens. You know what I'm saying, and intrusive thoughts happen. So it's like being angry at the situation, and like, ooh, fuck that shit. I can't wait till you. And it's like I don't want you to get your heart broken, but I kind of want you to get your heart broken because of how you broke my shit. Like, yeah.
I think it stems from the thought that yo, I'm the better choice for you, and if you don't have me, then you probably are going to have less and deserve less. And when they get someone that make you question yourself because they might seem like more, is that where that comes from?
You know what? Partially, because it's a bit of ego into that I do have, but I'm also the kind of person that I can accept when someone is a better choice or option or something.
Yeah,
Because I've seen that before when I'm like, okay, you know what, fuck it. And I've had, in the past, it's caused me to kind of look fucked up at myself and kind of like have like, oh, fuck you, Troy, like you ain't shit, like, self-hate moments. Um, but I've been able to be like, all right, fuck it, this might work out, this might be good. So really what it gets to me is when there's somebody that I guess on an egotistical level, I feel like over me, like the fuck kind of
like,
thing.
I'm the whole bag of chips.
Like,
Dear
what are
Trump,
you do? Like, what we
what are you
got
doing?
versus that? Like, what is like? What is this nigga doing for real? Because I don't get it. Like, like, but I can admit that it's partially an egotistical thing. Yeah, definitely. And then too, just to go back to like seeing exes get karma. Um, I have seen two get karma. Um, and it's only like five specific situations. One person, he went to New York, moved away. I haven't heard or seen from him since. I don't know shit about his life. He probably getting karma because he did some shit. He stole some shit from me before he left, before we kicked him the fuck out. So there's that. So he's definitely getting some fucking karma to him.
What
But
did he do?
oh, my fucking laptop, my old laptop. A week after I finished writing my first book, my iPad, and just a bunch of other random shit. And it was funny. It's because I knew something was gonna happen because that day I had to like go into the office of my job. It was like hybrid, and he was in the house, like just there. It was like his last day or whatever. He's getting his shit, and something told me before I walked out, like, "Hey, put up your social security card and like your important documents and shit. Like, tuck them away." And so I did. I came home and yeah, took a bunch of shit. It was like, what the fuck? So yeah, but so he's definitely gonna get karma. But another one, he's kind of getting karma because he's kind of always, and this is not even just karma for me. This is like somebody, you ever come across those like you said, love bombers, um, and a serial lover who's just like goes from person to person to person to fucking
Yeah,
person.
and they never take a break. And
Yeah,
when
and
they're
then
about to exit a
they even might
relationship,
take a break, but even then, if they do take a break, it don't change shit. So they still be like the same,
they be jumping
same kind of
around,
person.
yo.
Yeah. So,
And
um,
they already know who they're gonna date before they break up with the last person. And I believe it.
yeah, I think so too. Like
Most of the time.
there's like a idea in mind of like, so if this don't work out, it look nice over there. Like, but yeah. So he is kind of still there. That still kind of in that same loop of just person after person and whatever, and then having like lonely ass moment. Like it, that situation was very dark, and it was like a seat filler kind of thing. So I had the spot in between guys. Like, so I was there for like several guys, and it was just like at some point I had to be like, all right, I can't keep letting forcing myself to do this. Um, and then the other person, I mean, I guess it might not necessarily be karma, but I feel like he should be a little bit further along, and this is just me talking shit. But he was just like, delivering pizzas and stuff. I don't know.
Listen, man, that delivery money, you make a good amount. You don't know,
Hey,
man.
yes, that's what I'm saying. I don't know,
You do
but
to
it was just
Arizona
like
because it's
he
hot.
still he's still kind of where he was like college, high school, college kind of thing. So it
Mm.
just, but I don't know. He could have multiple jobs. He could just be doing that shit right quick and be making because he's also an artist. So he could be like making artist bread. I don't fucking know, but look like karma to me. I ain't delivering pizzas.
I think for me, when the karma thing for me is
Mhm,
when I'm like, hey, I see something great in somebody and I'm trying to add value to my best ability, but they
mhm,
don't let you add value.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey,
Yeah.
I got this opportunity. I know somebody. And you're like, no, I want to do it my way. And because
Mhm,
they keep wanting to do it my way, they've been in the same spot for 5 years, even though
mhm,
the suggestion I gave them, I did. And even with them being actually better at me on the skill set that I told them, like the opportunity, they were better for the opportunity than me,
mhm.
but because they didn't take it, I've taken it and moved forward with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think if that's one thing too, like really, really, really care about somebody
Mhm.
and you trying to add value and they said, no, I don't want you to add value, is because you honestly, bro, you not the one. They
Yeah.
don't see you as the one, so they don't listen. Because when you in
Oof.
love, you listen to the dumbest ideas.
Jesus Christ. And that shit like that is just so like, whew, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been getting like side bullets for like the past month and a half. Like I said, I had to like let go of a certain situationship
Mm.
recently. And it was like a friendship too, but it just, you ever seen two people that like when they're around each other, it's like a kind of chemistry, and it's like, are they fucking? Are they doing something? Like, what's up? Are they
Yeah,
together? Kind of thing. It was one of those kind of things, and it was like something that we got from fucking. Anytime we were somewhere, for the most part, like it was kind of annoying, because we weren't. We had done stuff occasionally, but I had feelings, and so it was like I was constantly reminded of something that I couldn't have, and it was just like, huh, no, we're not together. Please shut up. No. Oh, are you guys together? No, no, we're not. Please shut up. Um,
slow down. I got a question for you.
okay.
What is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Kind of makes sense. I don't know a
Taurus.
lot about Taurus, but
Okay. Okay. I'm a. I'll break it down a little bit further. I'm a Taurus sun, Libra moon with a Capricorn rising.
Hmm.
So with the Taurus and the Capricorn being Earth signs, I'm extremely stubborn at times, but extremely down to earth and grounded. With the Libra part being my moon, I highly regard my emotions, um, as, I mean, yeah, just almost as like law. They like, I like, I balance a bit of my emotions with my logic, but
Hmm.
emotions tend to win out. Because it's kind of like my, I guess, to relate it to being a Libra, kind of like my justice almost. But
Yeah,
because Libra is an air sign, my emotions can be fleeting like wind.
because
So
you can be a little indecisive.
yes, and so that's what helps me with the Taurus and Capricorn side, having so much of that earthness in my top threes, because then that grounds me. So when I'm grounded, my emotions can, it's just like a small little breeze. But like if I'm not grounded, it's a fucking hurricane, tornado. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
welcome
Taurus
to
is
being an air sign a little bit. That's how I am. Like I'm
yeah,
an air sign, so I know how it feels. I'll be like, dang, I'm really.
you
People be like, I don't never know where you at. You're always lost in the wind somewhere. I'm like, that is so true.
and
I'm
then
the type
like
of
with
person that go to
Libras, like
the corner store, right? I go to the corner
mhm.
store, pick up a bag of chips, be like, yo, I need something from the mall. I end up driving farther now. I buy a whole new outfit. It's like I could go to Philly. Then I'll end up
I was
going
supposed
out
to
at
literally
night.
left the house to buy a bag of chips.
And I'm in Philly in the nightclub. You like, damn, bro.
Oh, you can
I
hear,
try to
but
stay home. That's actually why I try to
yeah,
stay home. 'Cause I know myself. I'm like, I could go somewhere.
yeah, it's funny.
But I
Um,
begged. I was wondering. I was like, Would you
well, that is
prioritize?
very, it is a very Taurus thing. What I was gonna say too, real quick, is also like because Libras are the scale of justice. They like have a innate kind of sense of being right. Libras just naturally are just like so. In regards to the moon sign is your emotions. My emotions take precedence often over, like, you know what I'm saying, like really, like it's like, no, this is justice. Like, you know what I'm saying. But then like with the Taurus thing, on just relating it to what I was just talking about, we have this thing where like we're territorial, and we're very patient. So it's very common for Tauruses to fall for like somebody that they've been around, or like a friend or something like that, or get into like a situationship because it feels comfortable. And then that person at some point feels like ours. So it's like, yeah, we not saying it, but this is mine. This is um yeah. I think I had
So
a point a while ago, but it's fine. Go
I
ahead.
believe it now because you was like, man, like I don't really. For me to date a friend now would be hard. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah. Well, I don't have any now currently that I would, but it's just like I always get into a kind of situation like that because I do want my person to like be my best friend. Like that's something I've learned from my last situation because we were like basically best friends. So it was like all that was missing was like, for me, I guess, this extra layer, and bam, we good. But like it made me realize that I do want that. So I find myself at some point finding somebody that I let, but it's like it's always my fault because in the beginning it's kind of like this unclear energy that I need to move forward, not allow in. It's like if it's not this from the front from jump, then let's not even. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it gets a little sticky when you like don't make it intentional at first, and you both like we're just friends, and then you're both probably thinking like we could be more, and then it just makes it awkward because when out of that they become your friend, you kind of like you're scared to lose them, and it's so much easier to date someone that you're not scared to lose, because when they're your friend, now you got friendship and you got the emotion part, so you're like it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot more to lose. But if you just had the emotion,
Chemistry and sexual tension and just all this other shit. Yeah,
yeah.
but I think too also the issue with myself in the past um, was just not taking initiative often. I taking like the lead and allowing. It's like I said with the last situation. I looked up and we were living together. It's like I have allowed myself to be guided
Mm-hmm.
in relationships, and with people in situationships and stuff like that, versus being like, okay, what's up? What are we doing? Why is this? This is what I want. This is what I need. This is my attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just really I guess moving intentionally, or just stopping to fucking check in with myself and be like, hey, do you want this? Hey, can you actually deal with this? Don't tell yourself you can deal with this and you can't. Because I've also been in situations several times where I've had to be around the person I've had all these feelings for while they are with somebody else.
Mm. Because
Like I remember
you didn't
one time,
fast enough.
yeah, that are just being told that like hold on one second. God damn it. Just being told that if I didn't stick around or if I wasn't okay with it, then I wasn't a good friend.
Oh
Oh, if you
wow.
can't deal
Yeah,
with it,
so it's
then
like I
if
don't
you
think
love
it's fair.
somebody, then yeah, it's like if you love somebody, then it doesn't matter um who they're with, kind of thing. And so it just made me it caused this internal battle with me for a while of being like, I feel this way, I don't like this, but it's something wrong with me if I feel this way, or I don't really love them, or I don't really care. Like, yeah, like I ended up one time, it was a snowstorm, and I was hanging out with this guy that I had all these feelings for, or whatever, and he ended up leaving. We went to his brother's like apartment. We were all hanging out, and he ended up leaving to go get his new boyfriend that he was talking to. I didn't even know he was talking to somebody yet. Like it was like a whole. That was like his nick. Like literally, it was like again a love bombing kind of person. So it was like I looked up and it was like, where the fuck did he even come from? I should have been like, hey, I want to go home. I need to go home. I didn't, and because of that, we all had to stay the night together in a snowstorm. And everybody else in the back room. I had to stay in the front room with him and his new guy. And I had to lay on the couch. I had like I was asleep, and I had to just hear them in the other room, just talking and laughing and being all cute and just falling for each other. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like I remember just the heartbroken boy in that on that couch, and it's just like, nigga, you can't keep doing that shit. Like, if you can't do it, or this ain't the right situation, back out. Because also, and just to tie it back into karma, I think I used to tell myself too, if I endured as much, if I went through as much, then there's no way that this won't turn out how I want it. You know what I'm saying? The karma is gonna come back and it'll be good, and in the end I'll have him, kind of thing. It's like, nah, nigga, um, no, just no,
Oh man, it don't work like that. I think
no.
so. What lesson do you think the karma cycle is trying to teach you from that?
Um, to believe in myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always been like my I mentioned it in the opening of just like, or actually not on this, I was another pod, but like breadcrumbs. Our life is always dropping breadcrumbs um to our purpose and what we need to do. And one of mine was, it's just like my entire life was almost geared towards making me, like my story, like hate myself. And I've always found a way to overcome that. And I'm like, huh. And the older I get, the more I go through my cycles of life and stuff, I'm like, huh, I'm the shit. And it's like life has been trying to get me to see that for so long. Like, um, bleaching my skin when I was younger, hating being dark skinned, um, being a fat kid, you know, um,
What's
being a
that?
gay kid. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nigga.
What
I made it
shit
to
did
like
you
200,
get? I was I
240,
was
240, 245.
I
Yeah.
was 280 with big feet, and I was like
Woo.
5'7". I looked like a clown, a clown
Man,
wall.
big boy. Big boy. But yeah, that shit happens, bro. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Being gay and in the fucking hood, um, it was just like a lot of things. Being, middle class and wanting more, see, being in the hood itself, being a fucking statistic. It was just like my whole life has just been a series of moments of like, are you gonna hate yourself? Are you gonna love yourself? Which one are you gonna do? And so I've had the moments of hate, and it's just like I'm past all that shit now. Like, um, so yeah, I think
What were some non-physical things that you kind of hated about yourself?
uh non-physical. Ooh, that's a good one. I think at one point, it's not necessarily something that I hated, but I was. Oh no, yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll say I hated it. I guess I don't know, my heart, maybe like how I loved. Um, and that came from like these situations because I believe in expression. Like I said, my emotions can take precedence. So like if I feel something sometimes, even if my head is like, hey, that's fucking dumb. My heart's like, no, it's okay. We're gonna be all right. Let's just do it. And it'll lead me. So it's like, and I'm not there anymore. But that's also why I started Love Journal. Because I recognize I got to that place. Again, that was somewhere I was years ago, and then I kind of got over it, and then I got back there, and then I found myself being annoyed with rom coms and just frustrated with love overall. I was like, "Whoo, that's not me." Okay, let's figure this out. Let's dive into this. But yeah, my heart.
I think for me, it was like as a guy, I think like race. So for me, raised from like my grandparents, me watching like how my grandfather operated. I've never heard him talk about feelings. I've just seen him go to work, get results, and feed the family. I thought that was what it was supposed to be. So I put my value into what I could give to a woman physically only. So if I felt like I couldn't get the results for the household or play a part or at least a lead part, I felt inadequate. So in my roughest times, I didn't date because I could never feel value. If I, let's say, if my car broke down, I would never ask the person I'm with for a ride anymore because I'm like, nah, I'm supposed to have my own spot. And I would stop seeing them and then we would just fall apart because I'm trying to figure out my ride situation all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's real. I know a lot of guys like that. I'm sort of like that too. Sometimes it's hard for me to ask for things for the person I'm talking to or dating. I'm just like I don't want to, because I've had situations like, well, why didn't you say that to me? I'm like, I was supposed to.
I was supposed to.
Whoopsie, like but like
I think people just gotta learn how you know how you say that's your way of love or that's your way. That's your
let's
way
get
to
over
that.
your. I think it's just to get over yourself. It's one of those things that I was saying in the beginning that like we think has like a more, for lack of a better term, weaker origin, but really it's just your ego. You think you're more important than you are. You think you're less human because everybody struggles. But for whatever reason in your mind, you have to be Superman, and now it's like, oh, I'm not being Superman today. It's like, well, yeah,
I'm a
you're
chump.
never
I need
Superman.
to. I need to play my part.
You're never Superman.
You
you
start
know,
downplaying yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like I mean, not to say you're never Superman, but like it's fine because even Superman got killed like 4 times and fucking like he get his ass whooped sometime, like even Superman. So it's like I think really it's just one of them things where we just get the fuck over ourselves. People gotta get over themselves sometime. um I got one more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I guess well yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'll keep it like that. So do you personally think that you might have relationship karma coming to you?
I really haven't been in a relationship in about 4 years. There's been none but
Okay. What?
flames.
Hey,
Do
I
flames
feel
count?
that. I mean, it depending on how long they lasted. Because if it was like a quick, like 2 week, 3 week thing or a month, nah. But if it was like a 2 year kind of thing, then
Nah,
yeah.
I don't know. I've been doing these 90-day flings. I think I got a long one. I was like,
Hey,
damn,
I,
I
I love
ain't
it.
no
90
more.
days.
I do think the karma would come back on a few things. I remember, first of all, I trusted this hunch. So one time, this girl, right, I could tell she was just looking for cash. So she was talking to, I could tell she was talking to a bunch of guys. I'll be tracking, talking to a bunch of guys that
Yeah,
actually, they popping. They got the cash, they got the money, they got the resources for her. Beautiful woman,
right.
really, 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 really gorgeous, right? And then she just kept getting denied by these people, including me. And I remember one time I was doing something really, really, really mean. So what happened was she's like, "Let me buy you lunch." I'm like, this is weird. Cause now you at first, you be like hinting you want
Right.
$200 and you about to buy me lunch. It's like I'll get you DoorDash. And you know what's crazy? So I got her to give me DoorDash for meeting the girl I was talking to.
Oh shit.
So
I
that
saw
car hasn't gotten back yet, but it will eventually.
I saw a meme like that, or just like a tweet or some shit, and it was like a picture of this girl crying, and it was like I just took him some DoorDash and like some Wingstop or some shit, and then she's like, now I'm looking at his stories and him and his baby mama eating it together. And that made me immediately think about that. Like that's so fucking wild. But yeah, okay, so I
It hasn't
think
come back yet. It will
mhm,
eventually. Though. I know it will.
yeah. I think I honestly got mine with my ex. With the still with like, stealing shit, like that shit was like so fucking deep and like moving in, like it was because I honestly look back on it, I was like, low key, I don't even know if this thing ever had a house. Or, like it was one of those things because he was always in my shit, and I was like, wait, like again, you don't notice. It was like love bomb. I look up and he was around for like a year, so it wasn't like a quick. It was like we were talking like about a good 3 or 4
So you don't
months.
even think he had a place to stay?
Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm not even fucking sure.
Like when did his lease go up? That's what I would have gone. I'd have been like, hey, you staying real long? What is your
Well, so
lease?
he was staying with his parents, I guess. But
Okay.
I never went. He was like, no, they just, I guess he was like, he just, oh, it's like the more I talk about it, every time I talk about it, I'm I didn't really like my mom's husband or some shit, like his stepdad. He don't really fuck with him, so he just tried not to be there a lot. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't think two shits about it because I'm just like, whatever, like, sure. And then I looked up, and yeah, we was living together. So, but yeah, I think he might have been some of my karma. I did have, and this is more so with my flings, because like once I have feelings for you, it's hard for me to really do you bold unless I feel like you've hurt me and my ego wants to hurt you back. I'm not that kind of person anymore, but I've had those moments. But more so, I think I've been the worst with flings. Like I'll kick motherfuckers out, like or like I'll be like, who? Like once we do whatever, I get whatever. Like I was like, wow, I gotta get up early. Ooh,
Damn, that
what
person.
she did? Not anymore, but I have been like that. Like I remember one time I woke a guy up, like, hey, what you doing? Hey, so what you about to do? He's like, well, I thought I was sleeping. No, no, nah. But again, past. I know how that has made people feel. So I don't fully think I have any bad relationship karma coming to me. I've been
That
trying my
happened to
best.
me. That actually happened to me too. By the way, I was the person opposite end, right?
Mhm.
You and the lady get y'all things off, right? And all of a sudden she's like, yo, could you ride me home? And then next 10 minutes,
It's
I'm
like,
like, damn. And I
hey,
realized something, right? She would ghost a little bit, bring breadcrumb a little bit with text messages throughout the week, and then eventually hit me up like, yo, what you doing tonight? And then like, yo, let's go out to such and such. And
right.
I would be taking her out to good spots, and she would be trying to go to Miller's Ale House. I'm like, bruh. So I'll pay for Miller's, but you want me to pay for the good stuff, man. So I
Yeah,
got
of
caught
course. Of course.
too. I went through a crazy phase. Not crazy like that. I guess you'd call it. Not. It wasn't a whole phase. It was me.
Oh,
It was.
there's nothing wrong with that. I think everybody should have a whole phase. I have one.
I don't think. All right, on this part, I don't think
Yeah,
you
I
can
didn't
buy.
hoe for food though. Like my whole phase, because you know how people like do like the whole phase and they like just do it for like who have done this to go out to dinner. Um, my whole phase came in when I was like broke in college. I just wanted to smoke niggas weed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have none. So I'm like, oh, you got some? Let's hang out. What's up? Once it's out, I'm like, ooh, I gotta take a shower. I gotta go and I still gotta get up early tomorrow.
Oh my god, that's horrible,
Once it's
yo.
out, once it's put out, and that's how I like. Again, that's how I was. I was in college. I've grown. I've gotten some of that bullshit karma back. So,
I hope so, because like if you didn't, that was recent. So you gonna have somebody one time be like, "Yo, I'm about to go to the bathroom." They gonna leave you with like
yeah.
a $200 check. Can you imagine that? Y'all just gotta finish eating that
I ain't
grandma.
never played. What's that
And
shit?
they
When they
drove
walk out the
all with the
restaurant.
car that they drove you in. So they left you here with no car transportation, and they left you with the bill.
Yeah. I'm running out that bitch. Literally running full speed out.
Because you got to at this point. You got to make it
At that
far,
point,
far from the
yeah.
restaurant.
Fuck this. I mean, I might have somebody I can borrow that from right quick on some shit. If I didn't bring nothing, like, hey, cash at me this much right quick or something, you know. But
Well, all right. Before we gonna end it with this one, right?
mm-hmm.
Let's end it with this question: worst date experience ever? Go.
Oof, it's been a while because I actually haven't had a lot of dates in a minute. But I think, and it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just awkward. Um, it was one time, and we went out like hours, we have food and stuff to like kind of take a walk by like this river,
Mm-hmm.
like a little river walk or whatever. And before I knew it, we got to get a little hot and heavy. There wasn't nobody out there. It was like, well, shit, it's nighttime. Like, fuck it, let's be adventurous, you know. And we into it, going at it, whatever. And I noticed at some point there's like like a bum or something, like you know, like homeless person. I don't want to say bum, homeless person, kind of just sitting there watching. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, wait, hey, and like he's like, oh yeah. I was like, wait. He's like watching us. He's like, oh yeah, he's been there the whole time. I was like, the fuck? What do you mean? Like you were just like okay with this? Like we just fucking around in front of a homeless person. It's already fucking cold as hell outside, but you know, whatever. It's just like really random. Um,
Having
so
a
yeah,
homeless spectator with all that is insane.
yeah, like
That that
and it
you
immediately kind of just took you know the feeling away of just like okay, yeah, let's stop. What the fuck? Like again, it's already cold. Like I said, like cold as hell. I already don't
mm,
really want to do this, but we going at it. Let's do it. But now it's a homeless nigga just watching us. We might call some friends over. Like, I ain't got time. Let's just go.
I think my
But
worst experience was all right. My worst date experience was this. I pretty much we it was my worst date experience was in the morning. Went to go get brunch. It was one of the higher, like the nice brunch spots we took her. I took her to, valeted the car, everything, and she got anything she wanted. And then at the end of everything, she's like she hardly ate her food, and then she complained about the service, the brunch, and everything. And she was like, "I
oh,
don't really like brunch." And I
I
was like,
hate people like
I
that.
don't really like you. Like if you don't like
Like
brunch, I think that's a deal breaker. That's non-negotiable. Is brunch.
legit. Yeah. It's fucking that's what you do on Sundays. Yeah,
Like
people are
that's not
weird.
cool.
Yeah.
Not liking brunch is not cool. That should be a felony.
Legit. Um and so we go ahead and wrap up there. One, two.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm done with my questions.
So any final
Um
words for viewers?
yes, as I was gonna say, I do got some final words right quick. I just want to say, and it just goes back to, you know, knowing yourself. Watch your intentions. If you have good intentions, you know, unfortunately you can still hurt people, but I think karma comes for those who move unintentionally or move with bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your intentions good. Yeah. That's just kind of it. You know what I'm saying? And try to do as much good or put out as much good as you can because that shit will come back just as much as the bad.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So if it's keep happening to you, if it keep happening to you over and over and over again, you're repeating the same events and the same shortcomings. It's a lesson there you haven't learned. So go learn that lesson. With that, I bid you adieu. And Troy, where can we find you?
So you can find me at love_journal podcast. And then like my regular personal page is just Trigger Troy D. And then also check out my poetry book, The Boy Who Stood in the Rain. Fire. Like full length poetry. Not none of them short length poetry books. It's real shit. But yeah, check that out on Amazon.
Alrighty. And you can find me on the Media Ghetto podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Lost in the Sauce, Hot Sauce, lostinthesauce.store. Subscribe and like on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find a podcast. Seriously, I'm even on Twitch streaming right now. So with
Hey.
that, bid you adieu. Peace out. Stay medium ghetto.
Peace. Love, love.